Hello, this is Marilyn Wilson. I am the author of Life Outside the Box, The Extraordinary Journeys of 10 Unique Individuals. I have with me today Julie Salisbury. She is the founder of both Influence Publishing and InspireABook workshops. I have taken both, and her workshops are the reason my book came to publication, so I'm really excited to have her here. This is the fourth video in a series. The first one was an introduction and overview of the different webinars and workshops that are available for you. The second one covered just the live in-person 3-day workshop. The third one covered the 4-week webinar, which would be the equivalent of the in-person workshop. Now, the 16-week webinar workshop that we're covering today is very new and it's very special. It's designed to help support authors after the workshop. I know for myself, it took me 18 months to do a 6-month book because you're so alone and you need that accountability. So I'm very excited to have you here to hear about this. Julie, can you tell us a little bit about why you decided to found this, how this came about?
Well, it's as you said, in the 4-week webinar or the 3-day workshop that I do, I set people up with writing assignments so that basically they can go away, and if they're able to do 2 to 3 pages a day, then basically they can finish their book in 8 to 10 weeks. But as you know, actually sticking to that 2 to 3 pages a day it's really tough. So I realized that I needed to create something where there was accountability every single week, so that you know as a writer that if you don't write your 2 to 3 pages a day, you're not going to do your 5,000 words a week, which is equivalent to a chapter. And that means there's no way you're going to get your book finished in 8 weeks or 10 weeks. So I decided, well, why don't I do a 16-week webinar where basically the first 4 weeks is setting the book up and creating the foundation, and creating the plan for your writing, exactly the same as the workshop and the 4-week webinar. But then you have 8 weeks to do the writing. But every week you have to check in with the Facebook groups or all the other people that are in the group with you. But then you share your writing, and obviously everybody's going to be accountable to everybody else to make sure that you actually get it done. And that's what we need. We need a community and we need accountability, otherwise it just doesn't get done. So then at the end of that 8 weeks, as long as you have stuck to that plan, which you're more likely to do if you have accountability, you'll have a completed manuscript.
I want to break this into 3 segments here because there's 3 very separate parts of this webinar. The first one is the 4 weeks, which is equivalent to the live workshop or the 4-week webinar. Who should be there? What do you look? This is about writing your book. So who are you looking for?
I find that if you're actually just at the idea stage and you haven't done any writing at all, then this is just a great foundation for you, because you can get real focus before you waste your time doing a whole load of writing that's irrelevant or it's not going to go in the book. However, of course, there's lots of people that just run ahead because they love the creative process, and so they might have 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 words already written, but now they're like, well, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know how it fits together or how it comes together as a book. So for that person, it's really helpful to actually look at their content, but actually reflect back and say, well, who have I written this content for? And what was the purpose of this content? And what is the reader actually going to get from this book? And that way we're able to give it structure, give it flow, and make sure that the packaging reflects what's actually in the book.
If somebody has a completed book, how do they fit in here?
Wow, that's kind of, in one respect, when people have a completed book, if they're unhappy with the sales or it just hasn't gone where they expected it to go, they come onto this program, and for many people it's really a way of refocusing. You can basically create a second edition of your book by just refocusing. So it might just be a new title or a subtitle or might be a new cover design. But you know that we judge a book by a cover, right? So
very much. I review a lot of books. It starts with the cover, then the synopsis, then the font, the margin, everything, the look of it.
Yeah. So you know, if that's why you're coming to me, then you probably don't need the 16-week one. You probably just get all the information you need from the 4-week one.
Okay.
So the 16-week one, it's really good for people that are literally right at the beginning.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, I want to write a book, I've got these ideas, I've maybe got some content already, and I want to get it done.
Okay.
New Year resolution, get it done, right?
I'm in. So let's say at the end, this is not about actually the first 4 weeks writing the book. So at the end of those 4 weeks, just like at the end of the webinar or the live workshop, what have you finished? What have you got in your hands?
Okay, so you've effectively got a whole plan for the book. So you have got a working title and subtitle.
Yeah.
You have a synopsis, and the thing is with a synopsis is basically a 30-second elevator speech for your book, and that means you've really got clarity what your book is about and who is it for and why you're writing it.
Well, and keywords you said.
And keywords, exactly, yeah. Because the reader has to find you. Like if you don't know who the reader is or what they want to know, you don't know how they're going to find you.
Yeah.
As soon as you understand exactly what they want from you and what you're going to deliver in that book, then you can make sure that your synopsis has the right keywords, right? There's so many people that have written a book, for example, about recovering from cancer, and their synopsis doesn't even have the word cancer in it.
Yeah, no, it has to be crucial. So you've got a synopsis, bio. What else?
The author bio, making sure that the author bio is relevant. You know, the author of the book relevant to the actual book that they're writing. So title, subtitle, synopsis, headline, author bio, and a chapter plan. So and working chapter titles. And then that allows them then to go to the next part of the 16-week program, which is the 8 weeks where you're actually going to be writing the book.
You also give, and I think it's important to know, quite a few pages that go into a binder that organize your writing for you, so you can work on chapter 10 or 2, or you can move around.
Yes.
And it's got a lot of publishing information, so can you share a little bit about that?
Yes, so the chapter plan that we create in that first 4 weeks is so that you don't actually have to do the writing in order.
Yeah.
You know, many people, it's actually easier for them to write the last chapter and actually work backwards.
Yeah, that makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, it makes absolute sense. But because we know exactly what's going to go into each chapter, and we've actually got assignments for each chapter, then you can even like just move between chapters.
Yeah.
The idea is that you allow your writing to flow every day. So when you come to do your 2 to 3 pages every day, get your coffee in the morning, you look at your chapter plan, and you say, okay, I'm going to pick that assignment for this chapter, because this is what I feel like I really want to write about today.
Yeah.
And then the next day you get up and you might not even want to write in the same chapter. You might go, today I want to talk about this chapter, or I want to do this writing assignment. So you use it kind of like a checklist, and then it almost becomes like writing a blog, or writing journal instead of writing a book, right?
Yeah.
I think sometimes we set ourselves up for this kind of disaster by, I've got to work on my book,
In this way, in this order, in this how.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas what I'm doing is I'm allowing the creative process by saying, this is what I need to write, here are my writing assignments, now I'm just going to pick which writing assignment I'm going to do on that particular day.
Yeah.
And then you just report back once a week during that 8-week program, so that we know that you have done what you're supposed to have done. There's accountability, you can share your writing, get feedback from everybody else in the group.
I'm going to stop you right here. So the first 4 weeks, what's your time commitment?
Okay, so the first 4 weeks, you have 2 hours for the actual webinar.
That's 1 day a week, 2 hours.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's important to note that this is live and interactive.
Oh.
So everybody can see everybody else on video and sound. So it's basically like being in a room.
So nobody's muted, everybody's face is on the screen.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's very different.
Yeah, I mean, it's completely interactive, and I would never do a webinar any other way than this, because I believe that the only way truly that you can get through this process of writing a book with accountability is to be accountable to all the people that are in the group. So
Well, that's very cool.
yeah, at the end
It's
of
very
16
social.
weeks, people really get to, be together and really bonded and really
So how
help one
much
another.
time for homework away from this webinar?
So, for the first 4 weeks, you've got the 2 hours for the webinar, and then, probably 4 hours homework, maybe 4 to
Okay.
6 hours, which is the homework for the following week.
Can you tell who's done it and who hasn't?
Oh yes, I can tell if you spent 1 hour on your homework or 6 hours on your homework. I can tell straight away. And I actually have a rule. When you start sharing, I do not want you to start by telling me why you've not been able to do writing. There are no excuses. No excuses. So it becomes a bit of a joke, because if somebody goes, well, my daughter, no excuses.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, we all have busy lives, right? But
Okay.
at least if we're accountable, then we know that that's our goal.
Yeah. So the next 4 weeks is focused mainly on writing, producing how many words a week?
So, so for 8, we base this on an average book, which is like 8 chapters, right?
Mhm.
And an average book is 8 chapters, 5,000 words a chapter.
Okay.
So 40,000 words.
Okay.
So our goal is 2 to 3 pages a day will give us about 1,000 words.
Mhm.
So at the end of 1 week, you'll have 1 chapter or 5,000
Oh, that's
words.
great.
Right.
So 8 weeks, you have 8 chapters.
8 weeks, 8 chapters. You've got the first draft of your manuscript complete.
Wow. And now, how do you keep accountable? You're not doing the webinar during that portion. It's all done through Facebook, or?
You've got a Facebook group where we're all interactive,
Mhm.
but then you are also checking in. So it's not like 2 hours of study. It's more of a community check-in. Everybody.
So once a
sharing
week,
their
everybody
writing.
checks in
Yes.
still.
Everybody checks in.
Ah.
Yes.
What happens if somebody hasn't done their writing?
Well, to be fair, it means that they miss out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because, you'll always find in every group that those people that do the most work and they are the most interactive, they're the ones that are getting the best value for money, because they're actually,
Yeah.
using my expertise as a facilitator, but then also getting the feedback from the group.
Yeah. The last 4 weeks, I know you start to add back in work heading towards publication. So
Yes.
what are you covering during the last 4 weeks?
So the last 4 weeks is really now what do you do with that. So
Okay.
you've got your first draft of the manuscript, now what? So we literally take you through every step to the launch, actually planning for a launch, getting all the author platform information that you need, as well as planning for an Amazon bestseller campaign, which is, I recommend everybody does that. And I've published over 100 books, and so I've got, I've probably got 70 bestsellers under my belt.
That's a great percentage. Welcome back, everyone. Due to a small glitch, we lost the last few seconds in our final interview with Julie Salisbury of Influence Publishing and InspireABook. Her InspireABook programs have helped over 100 writers reach their dream of becoming a published author. If you'd like to know more, get information on the workshops and webinars, sign up for a free info night, all this can be done just by visiting their website at www.inspirebook.com. And if you haven't seen the 3 previous videos in this series, be sure and give them a check. Thanks again, and I hope to see you at a future interview.